A casting director told me that, in Chashme Badoo, you were the only thing that didn't work. And that was on my face. Because I was tagged with this bad luck charm. Ye panauti hai basically. I was told by my agency at that point, there's no potential in me. Quite a few films have been replaced. I am not from a big surname family.
There was a time when Taapsee Pannu was considered only as an outsider trying to make it big in films. But she struggled and braved her way through and reached a position that only other people can be envious of. Today we have Taapsee sharing her untold journey with us.
There's nothing untold anymore about me. You know it all now.
Yeah, but I know it, but not everybody knows.
So you want to hear it from my mouth?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember your first audition? How good or bad were you in that?
Actually, there was no audition, honestly. It was just like they wanted me to dress up like that character and click a few pictures and see if I look believable in that look. And that's about it. If they would have actually auditioned me, tried my acting skills and all, I would have failed because I have failed in all possible auditions I've given in my life, even now.
Which auditions?
All auditions I've given. Ad auditions also have failed.
Like what had happened?
I remember there was an ad for a chocolate brand and it was like after I'd done a few films. I was first of all very awkward to audition, not because I'm an actress and all, because in fact one of the casting director guys called me up and said, even this hero auditions, that hero also auditions, why are you saying no for? I said, listen, it's not because I have air about myself. I know I'm not going to pass it because I'm horrible in auditions. I can't act unless and until I don't have that ambience of the shot, and I have my co-actors. I have a director who's giving me directions, who's told me what the mood is supposed to be like.
No, but your co-star, Manmarzia co-star Vicky, had said that he had gone for a DO ad and he was literally asked to leave.
I remember,
Has something of that kind ever happened?
I remember for Satyapal, I had started modeling, and it was only photo shoot and all majorly, because in Delhi you don't have much of television commercials, you only have print ads there mostly. So I was there, and I remember I bunked my college and I went there for audition, because in the sense you were supposed to wear a sari and stand there and show how you can carry a sari. And I was just outright rejected because they said, no, you look too young to be carrying a sari, or you're not poised enough to be carrying a sari. Which, honestly speaking, I don't really disagree to. I agree. At that point, I probably had never worn a sari before that, and would have been a little weird in that sari, because sari needs a certain grace to be carried, and I probably didn't have that at that point.
But when you started off, you didn't know too many people in the industry.
I still don't know a lot of people in the industry.
But tell me something, did that ever affect the kind of roles that we are approaching? Did you ever get rejected randomly?
Yeah, you get rejected randomly.
In the beginning of your career?
Rejected in the sense they will not even consider you. Because you don't feature in the scheme of things, or scheme of, actresses who can make it, or female actors who can make it. You don't even feature in that list. So that's how you just get rejected, because people just feel, no, she is just a fluke, maybe 1 or 2 films fluke maximum, but no, she can't probably make it. Forget about directors or producers. I'm talking about agencies, who manage an actor. I was told by my agency at that point that there's no one who's interested to meet me. There's no potential in me. And nobody finds the potential in you to encourage a meeting with you also. So that was quite a shocker for me at that point, and when I was transitioning from South to Bollywood.
In South, you have done films, but women are not really treated, and you have spoken in that regard, and sometimes women are not really treated well. You've been hit with a coconut, if I'm not wrong.
It's not hit with a coconut. It's, that director's trademark is that he uses fruits and flowers and all that. It's his way of filming a woman, and which has worked for years brilliantly. So when I was told that for the first time, for me it was a shock, because I had not seen that happening. So when I said that it was a shocker for me was because I had not seen his films before. It was very unusual for me to understand how a director, because that's his way of giving tribute to the beauty of woman, because he compares it with a flower or with something as delicate as a fruit or something. That's his interpretation, okay?
But coconut is not delicate.
I know, that's why I was laughing at it, because the point is coconut is not delicate and I was chosen for the coconut. So basically I thought that I am not as delicate, that's why I'm not made for some other delicate flower, unlike all the other actresses who got the delicate fruits and flowers. I got a coconut. So that was the whole fun that I made, that on myself, that I got a coconut, everyone else got a flower or a softer fruit. So that's how, but the treatment, honestly, Nandip, I'll say, actually they treat you so well as their heroine that you are spoiled. In South, the only bitter experience that happened with me was, tagging me with the name of being an iron leg, which was very unfortunate and sad, because I had nothing to do in the scripting or filming of the film. I was there only for 3 songs or 6-7 scenes, like a typical heroine in a commercial pot boiler. Yeah. That's about it. And I did the film only because the director was big, producer was big, actor was big, and that was my fault.
Yeah.
That I chose to do a film for these reasons and not for the role or for the script. But the repercussion of it was most brutal on me, because I was tagged with this bad luck charm, which I had to battle with for years, because I had 2-3 these flop films back to back, and I was a heroine in the film. They said, "Ye panauti hai," basically. This is the iron leg. So that was hurtful. Yeah, you're jinxed. Because of you, it's not because of anyone else's fault. It's because of her bad luck that she brings with herself, which was hurtful, very unfortunate. Should not happen to any female ever in any industry, I feel. So that was the only bitter experience, honestly. Other than that, there were regular experiences of sexism which I faced not just in South, it happens in
Here
Hindi
also,
film.
yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise it was the same.
What were the things that you faced when you transitioned to Bollywood? Today you're in a space where you can handle it really well. Do you think at one point of time you were very vulnerable to these things?
Of course, because you know that you don't know anything, right? So at that point, you are actually double checking everything in your head. Should I be doing this, or should I be thinking like this? Does this mean this? So you're always double checking yourself, because you're too new, you don't know much. So it happened. During my transition, the most difficult thing was, apart from the fact that I went from 7 releases in a year to 1, I remember. So that transition was happening in a lot of ways, and of course people wrote me off at that point saying she's not doing it, she's not getting work. People started writing articles like, she's desperately trying to get work in Bollywood because nothing is working for her in South, and all these kind of things. So that was happening. But the difficult thing in Bollywood was that I used to attend in the beginning, your PR tells you that you need to be at these appearances, at these places, and I'm going there. And I've been treated like you are, one of those newcomer strugglers. And I was at least 15 films old. Yeah. Much more than, people who were probably sitting in your front row.
Absolutely.
And I was not understanding, okay, so just because I've done films in South, does that make my films less credible? So that's why I've been treated like, you were going to be sitting in the 6th row and not the 1st row. And I was very consciously trying that nobody should feel like I'm a social climber. I could see a lot of people trying to just get into a certain group so that they get clicked and they are around the right kind of people, and I've never done that before.
Yeah, you haven't.
And I'm very scared of doing it, because I'm very scared of being called a social climber, because that will be a big kick on my self-respect that I won't be able to take. So I'm very consciously keeping away from people who I don't really know, unless and until I become familiar to them. Then I'm very chatty. So that's what the transition phase hiccups were.
There was a breakthrough thing that, Taapsee has just arrived with Pink. Before that, people I don't think really spoke highly.
Yeah, a casting director told me that, in Chashme Badur, you were the only thing that didn't work. And that was on my face. That was hurtful. But after that, the same casting director...
I was going to come to that. Did he approach you?
Yeah. The same casting director called me back, had a meeting with me, offered me a couple of films, and that deal was... I didn't like that deal.
Priyanka Chopra, in an interview a few years back, when she hadn't become the global star that she has become, had said that there was a producer who had once told her when she was starting off that you are replaceable. That was the word that was used. She took years to come out of it and speak about it. You did it. Do you think that today, and you did it recently, do you think that at least empowers more actresses to come and talk about it? Because this happens to everybody in the industry. It's just that it's never spoken about.
Yeah.
What gave you the courage to talk about it, knowing that it might cut you off from a certain section of the people in the
Because
industry?
I had some credible work behind me, because I had some good films with me right now, and because I knew I'm not saying anything wrong.
Yeah.
All of these things put together, I can probably understand that if someone else in my position who probably doesn't have the kind of work I have right
Yeah.
now might be a little scared, thinking people might think she's doing it for publicity's sake, which, trust me, happens. People
Yeah.
do think that she's just making an issue because she needs publicity. So I thought, I'm at a position today I can talk. So if I've been given that power by my audience, why not use it for the right thing? So that kind of gave me the confidence to speak up. I've not targeted anyone. Even when I called out problems, like even in that replacement thing, I called out the sin and not really the sinner.
Yeah.
So I've always followed that funda in life, that call out the sin and not the sinner. I've never pointed and targeted out people, because I don't think that really pulling anyone down doesn't help me grow.
Yeah.
That doesn't work, and that's not my upbringing.
Apart from Pati Patni or Wo, is there any film where you were just replaced like that?
And there are quite a few films I've been replaced, some for logical reasons because I couldn't clear the audition, as I told you,
Okay.
and some for illogical reasons, like I am not from a big surname family. As I said, let's not call out the sinner, call out the sin. I have been replaced, and not so long back. So no amount of success can actually help you with this replacement thing in the industry.
And thank you for sharing your journey,
Pleasure.
although I knew most of it. But it's lovely because everybody should get to know the kind of struggles that you have braved to become where you are.
Oh, thank you so much. And all the girls out there, I would just like to say that, who think that this is a mean, bad world and it's, for outsiders it's difficult. Trust me, it's not as bad as you think or you probably have been made to believe. So never see being an outsider as a negative thing. It's actually your biggest strength.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Taapsee Pannu, and if you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Pinkvilla.